Hello, my name is Wayne Bensley. I'm an associate professor and current chair of the Physical and Life Sciences department here at Alfred State. I'm also the director of our Forensic Science Technology program. That is one of 3 academic programs within our department. We have a 2-year degree or an Associate of Applied Science AAS degree in biological science. We also have 2 4-year or bachelor's level degrees, BS in Forensic Science Technology and a BS in Health Sciences. So I just want to talk to you for a little bit about each of those 3 programs. The biological science degree, as mentioned, is a 2-year degree, and it's really not designed to be a terminal or final degree of study for the student. Usually students enter that program because they know they like biology and they want to further explore the possible career paths or educational opportunities that are out there in the field of biology or related to biology. So while a student in that program, they can study biology, anatomy and physiology, genetics, microbiology, and really learn more about the whole topic of biology. Students then often either continue at Alfred State in one of our 4-year degree programs, such as Forensic Science Technology or Health Sciences, or they may transfer to another school to continue their studies there. Our 4-year degree in Health Sciences is a fairly new program, but we have seen graduates from that program go on to further studies in the area of physician's assistant, pharmacy, or even medical schools. So the Health Sciences degree is really our version of a pre-med or a pre-pharmacy degree. Students in that program take 4 years of courses in the sciences, chemistry and biology, and a number of health-related courses. All of this is designed to build those skills that are the foundational skills that are needed for entry into graduate schools, medical schools, pharmacy schools. One highlight of the Health Sciences program is a recent agreement with LECOM, the Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine. They guarantee acceptance into their medical school or their pharmacy school for graduates from Alfred State's Health Sciences program as long as you meet the entrance requirements at LECOM. Students can actually register for that program right in high school. You can apply to LECOM and indicate that Alfred State is your choice of undergraduate school to prepare you for their medical or pharmacy schools. Our last degree is a 4-year degree, a Bachelor of Science degree in Forensic Science Technology. We have seen our program grow over the last 10 years to become one of the approximately 24 fully accredited forensic science programs in the United States. We're very proud of that fact, and we have seen a number of successful graduates from that program gain employment in crime labs and medical examiners' offices in Cincinnati, Ohio, New York City, Buffalo, Syracuse, Washington, D.C., and other locations around the country. We have also seen a number of graduates from the Forensic Science Technology program continue their studies in either graduate school working on master's degrees or even doctorate degrees. So the Forensic Science program, again, it's fully accredited. The group is by a group called FEPAC. And again, we are one of about 24 programs in the country, forensic science, that do have that full accreditation. I'm sitting here today in what's known as the Chemical Instrumentation Lab here on campus at Alfred State. This is a room that is filled with equipment that is utilized daily in testing laboratories around the country. This instrument right here is called a GC mass spec, gas chromatograph mass spectrometer, and it's used to help chemists or scientists identify various unknown substances, such as drugs or evidence from a fire scene or things of that nature, or even environmental samples can be identified using this particular instrument right here. We believe very strongly in all 3 of our academic programs in physical and life sciences that students should be exposed to hands-on applied learning. Students are, from the very beginning, are in the laboratory in multiple classes each semester, using their hands and their observations to formulate conclusions about what they're seeing in the laboratory. Thank you, and I hope you have a good day.
So now that we've talked about the programs in our department, I thought I'd give you a little tour of the facilities that we have here.
Right now we're standing in the lobby of the Physical and Health Sciences building. This is the building in which most of your classes would be held. So you're going to see a lecture hall here in a minute, and then we're going to go up and show you several of the labs that are used by students in all of our programs. But this is the entry lobby to the building. You can see a nice open, bright area. When students are here on campus, it's normally very busy, occupied with students. There's a student lounge area down here. There's an office complex on one side, and on this floor, the first floor of the building, there are 3 main classrooms. So I'm going to show you one of those 3 classrooms next. So this is one of the 3 main classrooms on the first floor of the PHS, or Physical and Health Sciences building. A lot of our courses in chemistry and biology that you will be taking in any of our programs. This is an example of one of the classrooms where you may have your lecture. The lectures typically meet 3 times a week for 1 hour. The other 2 lecture halls on the first floor here, one is slightly larger than this room, and one is smaller, but they're all set up very similarly with a teaching podium in the front of the room. The teaching podium does have access for the instructors to bring a laptop into the room, to display slides on the screen, and you have the whiteboards in all the rooms as well. So again, this is an example of one of the classrooms that you would be in for several classes during your time here at Alfred State. So this is one of our labs. We've moved up to the second floor now. The second floor of this building actually houses the nursing department and all of their faculty offices, as well as several of the nursing laboratory rooms. But we also have 3 biology labs on the second floor of our building. This one is the anatomy and physiology lab, and you can see all of the various anatomical models around the room that are used in these classes, from the skeletal system to the muscular system to the circulatory system. Anatomy and physiology is a course that is actually an elective for all 3 of our programs, but it is actually one of the largest courses on campus, and certainly is the largest course in our department. This lab is typically full and bustling during the academic week. I believe that there are typically 6 to 7 different lab sections throughout the week that usually run in this room. So this is the anatomy and physiology lab. Okay, we've just moved 1 lab down the hallway. This is the microbiology lab, still on the second floor. Again, this is a course that is, or a room that is normally very busy during the week with several different classes in microbiology, several different lab sections. Microbiology is a required course for all 3 of the academic programs in our department: forensic science, health sciences, and biological science. You can see around the room, this is a typical lab setup. We have the islands where there are 4 chairs at each island. Typically students work either individually or in pairs, and in this course, microbiology, they will learn to use the various chemical reagents that you see on the table to try to identify bacteria and viruses. This is obviously a very timely class for students to be taking given the current situation with the pandemic. So now we've moved up to the 3rd floor in our building. The 3rd floor has all of the faculty offices for the faculty in our department, the Physical and Life Sciences department. Basically, we have some chemistry professors, some biology professors, forensic science professors. This lab right here that you're looking at is one of our chemistry labs. It looks similar to the labs on the 2nd floor, but one thing you'll notice is the large fume hood behind me, as well as you may notice hanging from the ceiling some of the white vent fume hoods as well over each of the work areas. Those are designed to allow for chemical vapors to be removed from the room as students are performing their experiments in this room. So again, this is one of the chemistry labs. If you're taking a course called Chemical Principles, which is the required chemistry course for the first year students in our programs, this will be the room in which your laboratory session would take place. Again, the lectures, when we were downstairs, we talked about the lectures. The lectures meet 3 times a week for 1 hour, typically. And then the lab sessions meet an additional time during the week scheduled for 3 hours. Sometimes the labs do not run the full 3 hours, sometimes they take the full 3 hours, just kind of depending on what activity is being performed that day. So this is one of the chemistry labs. Okay, so we've moved down the third floor hallway a little bit, and what I'm showing you here is some of the information about our forensic science technology program. As I described in the introductory video portion of this, it is a very popular program. We've placed students from this program in a number of graduate schools as well as workplaces, and you can see that we are a fully accredited forensic science program by an outside agency. Again, as I mentioned in the introductory video, there's only about 24 such programs in the whole nation. And then you just were looking at a poster that displays some of the various locations where some of our graduates from the Forensic Science Technology program have gone on to obtain jobs or have gone on to graduate schools. So this is one of the other chemistry labs on the third floor. This lab here, and well, I'm standing at the front of the room where the teacher normally would stand, the professor normally would stand, while you're getting instructions on the labs. However, the professors do not typically just stand here in the front of the room during the labs. We often are moving around, rotating, walking among the students, answering questions, helping students. We have very hands-on faculty in our programs and our department. So this is the organic chemistry lab, and it's also one of our forensic science labs. So as you're panning around the room, you may be able to see some microscopes in the cabinets. We use microscopes a lot in forensic science laboratories. And also as you pan around the room, you can see those vent hoods coming down from the ceiling again. You can see the fume hoods on the side of the room. And again, this particular room right here is used for the organic chemistry labs as well. And organic chemistry is another course that would be required for all three programs in our department. Physical and Life Sciences department, all three programs would take organic chemistry. So right off the back of the lab you were just in, off the back corner of the organic chemistry lab, we have our crime scene laboratory, or our crime scene room. Again, this is used for the Forensic Science Technology program. And while the focus of our program in forensic science is to train students in the scientific analysis of evidence using biological and chemical methods, we do train our students in how to process a crime scene, how to document a crime scene, how to collect the evidence at a crime scene, how to recognize the evidence, how to properly package the evidence, and of course the importance of something known as chain of custody as well. So this room is used for the crime scene laboratories as well as blood spatter laboratories for our students. And what's nice about this room is the walls of the room are made of a whiteboard material. So we can actually, right after every lab, we can wash walls down very easily, which allows us to recreate just about any scenario we would like in this crime scene room. So now we've actually continued on our tour, and we're back in the same lab in which I was when I made the introduction to our video. This is the Instrumentation Laboratory, again still on the third floor of the Physical and Health Sciences building. But as you look around the room here, you'll be able to see examples of some of the various instruments that we have and that we encourage and require the students to use in all of our programs. That's one thing that sets our programs apart here at Alfred State from many other colleges, is that we allow the students, and in fact encourage and require the students, to understand how these instruments work and how they are used in applications in both biology and chemistry. So there are various instruments around the room. Many of them actually were donated to us by the Drug Enforcement Administration or the DEA lab in New York City. They've been very generous in supporting our academic programs here at Alfred State. And in fact, we've made several trips to New York City to obtain donated used equipment from the DEA lab, actually totaling nearly $500,000 worth of instrumentation. That's one thing that sets us apart here at Alfred State from many other colleges around the country, is our instrumentation. So we have instruments known as FTIR, infrared energy. We have a GC, gas chromatograph, that you're looking at here. We have multiple of each of these instruments. The instrument I was sitting in front of in the introductory video, the GC mass spec, gas chromatograph mass spectrometer, is used in all kinds of applications. And really, all of these different instruments allow us as scientists to potentially determine what an unknown substance is. Whether it's a sample from a soil sample from an environmental site, whether it is a powder received from a suspect in a drug case, whether it is evidence received from the scene of a fire. These instruments allow us to determine the identity of what substances might be present in the various materials that we're analyzing. Again, we emphasize this part of our department here, and all students, starting as early as their second year, will be in this room using these instruments as part of their coursework. And we do have a full course, just known as chemical instrumentation, which is required for the forensic science technology students and is an elective course for the health science and biological science students as well. And in that course, you learn all about the theory and the operation of all of these instruments in the room. And then the students in the forensic science technology program will continue to utilize these instruments in the forensic science courses that they take after taking the chemical instrumentation course. So the last thing I'm going to talk about here in our tour of the Physical and Health Sciences building would be examples of research posters put together by students that you see here in the hallway of the third floor. So students in our two bachelor's programs, the Health Sciences program and the Forensic Science Technology program, every student in those two programs has to complete either an off-campus internship or an on-campus research project. These are examples of some of the products of some of the research that has taken place by students within our programs here. Students that obtain internships off-site have completed them in a number of different locations, health facilities, as well as crime labs. We have actually had a student complete an internship at the FBI crime lab in Quantico, Virginia. We've had several students complete internships in the Monroe County Crime Lab, the Erie County Crime Lab, the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner in New York City, the New York State Police Crime Labs, and so on. But the students that opt for the research component can complete that research here on campus. In one semester, they take a course learning how to perform the research, and then the second semester, they actually perform and carry out the research. One of the requirements at the end of the research course is to prepare one of these posters to display their results. And we have had students afforded the opportunity to present their research at a regional meeting of forensic scientists known as the Northeast Association of Forensic Scientists meeting. We've had students actually present their research to attendees at that conference in 2 of the last 3 years. So these are just some examples of some of the research projects that have been performed.